In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
You are listening live to the Vito and Vito Show. Disrespectful to the executive branch.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
Don't sign the damn deal, and the president will...
Therefore, I do not believe that the majority can vote a man's life or property or freedom away from him.
And we're live here on the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito.
And why don't you tell the folks at home exactly what they're listening to?
Oh, I see what you did here. All right, very good, Vito. All right, you listen to Vito and Vito Show. We are two college, millennial, conservative, libertarian students fighting for the values of libertarianism like freedom and free markets and conservatism and all those good things on the college campuses, and we do so every day, and we risk friendships and all these fun things that you're supposed to do in colleges, like party invites and frat things and cool things like that, because we're fighting for America, and that's more important. Anyway, it's a great program. We want you guys to check it out, and check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. And Vito, without further ado, I don't want to waste anybody's time here because we got big interviews lined up, and it's all about debate night. You know, we got a lot to say, and you're coming. We're leaving. We got a big announcement planned for tonight, right, Vito?
Huge announcement.
Huge announcement from the Never Trump side of the show. But without further ado, I want to welcome to the program. She was on the show in the past, and she is the leading voice for the Heritage Foundation as the senior fellow in communications and senior contributor to the Daily Signal. So here she is. Without further ado, Genevieve Wood. I want to welcome her to the program. Welcome, Genevieve. Genevieve, you there?
I'm here.
There you are. Welcome to the program. It's good to have. I hope we're not interrupting
good
dinner.
To be on.
All right. It's great to have you here.
Not at all.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. Because, we do the show a little late, and we know it interferes with people's, their nightly routines and things like that. So we don't want to be a burden. So let's get right to it. We saw the debate, and we got to get your input on it. So tell us, as a journalist, first of all, were you there, and what are your reactions to the debate?
Well, I wasn't actually in the debate hall. But I did watch on TV, beginning to end. And, my reactions were at the end of it, the way I kind of looked at it was, I think you saw Hillary Clinton at her best. She was clearly prepared. She clearly had her numbers and her stats and, had her side prepared. But I think that's as good as Hillary Clinton will probably get. This is the 11th or 12th time she's done this kind of one-on-one debate. Donald Trump, I think he had some missed opportunities. I think he did fine in some areas. I think he stuck on message. But I think he just missed a few opportunities both to kind of lay things at her feet or also just make some policy cases that he should have made. But this was his first time doing it. And so in the next two that we're going to see, I think he has a lot of room. He's got room to improve. Whether he'll do it or not, put the work in, I don't know. But I think he's got room to improve. With Hillary, I don't see her changing much beyond what you saw the other night.
You see, that's interesting because when I saw Trump and I saw the debate, I gotta say Donald Trump, I think, did better than expected. I think Trump really held his own. But there is, Hillary Clinton, like you said, that's the best she'll ever be, is pretty much what we saw at the debate. But I gotta say, I want to talk about Donald Trump for a second. We'll get to Hillary later. But Trump really held his own. I think he did. I think he came out a little bit too strong in the beginning, however. I think he kept hitting her too hard in the beginning. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that he kept his own. I mean, he really hit her on he threw that great email comment, like when she asked him to release the tax returns, he said that I'll do that when you release your email. That was pretty good. But, he hit her with stop and frisk. He was able to hit her with law enforcement, and of course trade and immigration. So I think Trump really had the upper hand here, but I think he did better than expected, even though the media is bashing Trump left and right.
Well, because they want to see him do poorly. I mean, they wanted her to deliver a knockout, which obviously she did not do. They wanted him to, fall apart on the stage, which he did not do. And look, I think you're right. If you asked most people who watched that debate, let's not say they didn't watch the commentators after, they just watched the debate. Most of them could say exactly what you said. He talked a lot about trade. He talked about these jobs in Ohio and Michigan that have been lost. He talked about how the country's, our roads are falling apart. People could repeat the things that he talked about. Hillary, I think you ask people what she'd say. Most people would say, well, she sounded like she knew a lot. But it would be hard for them to really point out specific things that she said. And again, people sometimes say, oh, well, Trump repeats himself too much. I'm like, Trump knows what advertisers know. If you want people to remember it, you say it more than once. Now, I think that he did miss opportunities, like on the race debate, to talk about school choice, which he's been so good at talking about on the campaign trail. Because he could have really said, he could have gone to his message that he had with her. You've been doing this for 30 years. For 30 years, you say you've been fighting for kids. But for 30 years, you've defended the teachers' unions that have kept so many of these kids in terrible schools. I think that should have been in there, and that was a missed opportunity. But he's got 2 more chances, and I think he'll be even better the next time around.
Well, I think he came out strong. I think, there were missed opportunities. I think he could have brought up Benghazi more because I know foreign policy was an issue. But I want to just talk about, in regards to Trump, a lot of people wanted to see more substance. They wanted to see more detail-oriented plans, and Trump didn't really give it to them, I think, in the best way possible. Yeah, he talked about what he wanted to do, and of course, he had good taglines and slogans, and the personality was on display. But to me, it looked like Trump was on the defensive. He was really relying to what his same old points were, and he never really got specific on policy details. Am I wrong? Did you see a lot of that, or what was going on?
No, I agree. I mean, look, I agree. I mean, I don't think you want to bury people in policy details because at the end of the day, the president is not the one implementing all the policies. The president is setting the agenda and has staff to do it. So you want a person there who can show the vision. And that's what I meant about talking about school choice. He shouldn't have to give you every nook and cranny of how it's going to work, but he should have talked about that as a policy change and a vision for how he would run education. I think he does that on trade because he knows it really well and he's used to talking about it. And like I said, Hillary I think she gets too into the details trying to convince everybody I really know all this and I'm so smart. Mm-hmm. But again, most people we give her credit for being smart. I don't think Hillary isn't smart. I think she knows a lot about public policy. My problems with her is that I don't agree with most of her prescriptions for how to fix policy problems. And, I think there's some questions there on character. But, on his side, he knows that that's what people are looking for. He knows people are thinking, do I know enough about this to do it right? And if you know that's the hole that needs to be filled, then you need to work, I would say, a little bit harder to fill it. You don't have to go overdo it, but there were opportunities where he could have worked in more policy knowledge that I think he knows, and he just didn't.
Well, I think
he responded, as you said. He got too caught at times responding to her allegations, and I think it's fine to defend yourself, but if you spend too much time answering the other person's questions, talking about what they want to talk about, that's not where you want to be.
Yeah, you're right about that, because that was the next question I wanted to ask you with Donald Trump. it looked like like I said, on the defensive, but it looked like, and this is what I was reading in the hometown paper, the New York Post, because we're from New York, and that's what we were reading. Just FYI, Vito and Vito from Brooklyn. There you go. But you read a lot of the editorials and a lot of the the criticism and all that stuff from Donald Trump, and it said that Hillary Clinton accomplished her goal, and that was to get under Donald Trump's skin, and it looked like she did to a degree. But mostly, I think in the first part of the debate, the first 20 minutes or so, you saw Trump on the ropes, but even though he was throwing power punches, if I can make a boxing analogy, even though he was throwing big, heavy punches, he was still trying to stop, Hillary's blows. And I think that's really where, and I have to agree with that criticism, because that's where Trump, I think, messed up. That's where that weakness, if they wanted to call it that, I seen it come through on that side of Donald Trump. Not to say he did bad, but I think he was, as they say in the paper, she was under his skin. You see her smile, you see her smirk, sort of this pretentious, pompous attitude that comes off of Hillary Clinton. It came off specifically, I think, in the first part of the debate. She was able to get under his skin, and I hope he could fix that for the next part.
Well, I think you're right, but except that I will say, he didn't lose it. I mean, he never.
No, not at all.
He was really mad.
Mm-hmm.
He never went off on a tangent. I mean, like I said, sometimes I felt like he responded. He took too much time responding to whatever allegations she threw out, but he never got angry. I didn't think he really looked defensive. And that's what her supporters were going for. I mean, if that's the best she's going to be able to do, and next time he's able to deflect that even further, I think that's a pretty good place to be. I mean, there was no meltdown there. Like I said, he didn't go off the rails, and that's what she was going for. Did he fall into it and take her bait a little more than he should have? Yeah, I do agree with that. But, at the same time, I think most people watching, first of all, we have to keep in mind, most people did not watch all 90 minutes of it. They watch bits and pieces. They watch clips the next day. And so I think, many people take away different things from the debate based on the limited part they saw and whether or not they're paying attention to the commentary after, which by and large is biased against Trump. There's just no doubt about that.
Well, let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Hillary was up there, and she was, like we said, her pretentious self, her sort of I know what's best attitude, the motherly attitude of Hillary Clinton in a bad way, not a good mother. She had this terrible. You could just tell she was fake, and that's what I got from Hillary. But like you said before, she hit the issues well. She came across like she knew what she was talking about. But I think what you alluded to earlier, that Hillary Clinton, there is no memorable line from her at the debate, is evidence that Hillary Clinton is still out of touch with the millions upon millions of people that were watching that debate from last night.
Well, I just think you saw. I think you saw the real Hillary Clinton in many respects. I mean, look, like I said, she is smart. She's of course she should know this stuff. As Trump said, she's been in this for 30 to 40 years. Of course, she ought to know it. So if her job was to convince people, I have a bigger grasp on many of the issues we're talking about here at a very specific level, then yeah, she would win that. But I don't think most people ever expected Donald Trump to win that. They always have thought, yeah, Hillary's going to know more details than he does. But the question is, do I trust her on the decisions she makes? And I hate to say it, for many Americans, the reality is when it comes to president, they want to know, do I like this person? And did she come across any more likable the other night? She smiled, and I don't think she did herself any damage. I just don't know that she changed anybody's mind about her. And I don't know that in any future debates there's going to be much that she can do differently. I think Donald Trump is more the wild card of what will happen in the future. I don't see her being so.
Yeah, I think so. I think she sat there and she wasn't as memorable, specifically this year. Because if you notice, this is the year basically of the outsider. We've heard this over and over again. And Hillary Clinton is the ultimate insider. And here comes Donald Trump, and he's giving you these anti-government sort of slogans. He's giving you this attitude, this gravitas, if you will. And then you have Hillary Clinton, who's basically trying to be the adult in the room. But it shows. Hillary Clinton reminds me of, from high school. like Donald Trump is the cool friend you always want to hang out with. He has all these friends around him, and Hillary Clinton has a bunch of friends around her too. But like the friends don't really want to be there. You know what I mean? Like she's like that one. Like when all your friends.
Kind of like Al Gore. Yeah, it was like Al Gore and George W. Bush. It was like George W. Bush was the guy you kind of wanted to hang out with, be his friend, and Al Gore was the kid at the end of when the bell rang would raise his hand and be like, "Teacher, you didn't give us our homework."
Exactly. Pretty much spot on. Hillary reminds you of the type of person that if you wanted to like go out to a bar or something, you want to go hang out. Hillary would be like, yeah, I'll probably have a drink or two. And Donald Trump's out there jumping on the bar like in Coyote Ugly, having the time of his life. So, I mean, you see a contrast. And it shows, and I think Hillary, you don't see that personal factor come through. She, to me, looked very smug, and she was very up against the wall in regards to what she was saying. She felt, it was like a self-righteous tone coming out of Hillary Clinton. But it seems to work because if you look outside the online polls where Donald Trump won overwhelmingly, you have other polls that say Hillary Clinton won with women voters. I mean, what does Trump have to do to turn this around and really make it impact the debate? What does he have to do to win?
Well, I think he's got to convince the people that are unsure, is he serious about this, truly serious in the point of like willing to, quote unquote, do his homework? Does he know enough about the issues? I don't think he has to win the debate over, does he know as much policy detail as Hillary Clinton? I don't think he has to win that debate, but I think he's got to win the debate of, does he have enough policy detail that I'm comfortable with him setting the vision and the agenda for the country? And that's where, again, I think, a few more inputs that he could have, or points he could have made that would have given more specifics about his plans without getting in the weeds, but just specifics that show like, oh yeah, I do have a plan. I have thought about this. I think there are a lot of people who don't want to vote for Hillary. There are a lot of folks who, it may not even be that they want to vote for Donald Trump, but they really want to see a change in Washington. They are sick of the same old politicians. As Donald Trump said in his thing, certain people benefiting, other people not. They're sick of that. I think people would love to vote for an outsider, but he's got to convince them if they give him his vote, he'll make the most of it.
Yeah, are you voting for Trump, Genevieve?
Yes, personally I am. Yeah, because listen, I mean, number one, I like, if you look at his policies and you look at hers, I like his better. If you look at the kind of judges he would appoint versus what I know she will appoint, I'm much more in line with what he would do. Is he going to do everything he says? Probably not. Most politicians never do. Most people never are able to do everything they said they were going to do. But as somebody who lives in Washington and myself who has worked in this town for over 20 years, I can tell you it could use some shaking up. And I mean that on both the Democrat and the Republican side. It's not just a one-party problem. Both parties are guilty, and both parties are the reason we're having the kind of election year we're having.
Yeah, I got to say that's 100% true. And speaking of both parties, before we let you go, I know you have this article in the Daily Signal. I was reading this before you came on the program. It says Congress has little to show for its work this year. So you really want to talk about a failure of just bureaucracy and a mess. Go ahead and just sum up that for us, and we're going to put a link on the website.
Well, I'll put it this way. Congress has spent a lot of time this past year naming post offices and making the bison the official mammal or whatever of the United States. Did they pass one appropriations bill, one bill that funds the Department of Defense, the Department of Health and Human Services, all these things the government, the vital things it's supposed to do every day? No, they did none of that. They've kicked all of that till after the election. Yeah. I mean, they have got very little to show for what they've done. And again, when people say, well, how are we having this kind of election? I'm like, because you guys have been creating a space where people they don't even know why they sent you to Washington. They don't know why they've elected you. So I think we're having an election based on people's outrage at how disconnected they feel like their lawmakers are from them and the other people they represent.
There you go. Genevieve Wood, thank you so much for coming on the program. Where can we follow you? It was a pleasure. Where can we follow you on Facebook and all that stuff?
Wood. Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Genevieve Wood. I'm also on Facebook, Genevieve Wood DC, and obviously you can find everything at the Daily Signal.
All right, awesome. Thanks for coming on, Genevieve. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, Vito, what'd you think?
I get some really, really good guests for this show.
Oh.
That's what I got to say.
Aren't you just perfect? Unbelievable. I gotta say, I like what she said about Donald Trump. I like what she said about how Trump has this, he could do better. Policy-wise, he needs to do better. He needs to articulate his point more. But I really think he did well.
I think he did all right. I mean,
it was unexpected. He could have done much worse.
Yeah, but he could have done much better. But comparing it to Hillary's performance, he won. But that's because his competition was crap. So that doesn't mean that he played well.
Yeah.
He could have been much more aggressive. And hopefully, it's like a boxing match. We have a couple more rounds to go, and Donald Trump starts throwing some haymakers this time.
Well, he's going to get into it, I know, in the second debate. And I hope he tunes up his act. I hope he gets more. Yeah, I hope he gets more into it. I hope he really perfects just what he's going to say. But I think Trump did okay. I think he did all right. Did he win? I'll say, yeah, I think he won. I think, it wasn't like an overwhelming victory. It wasn't like Obama or Romney how he beat Obama in the first debate in 2012. It was a good debate to watch. It was of course exciting because Donald Trump is there and the entertainment factor is up tenfold. You almost had 100 million people tune in for that, I think 80 million people tuned in to watch the debate. 80 million people tuned in to watch the presidential debate. There's 320 Americans out there. I think that's pretty interesting when you consider that almost a quarter of the country was in there to watch this. So it was interesting to see that. It almost broke Super Bowl records. Trump, in terms of debate substance, could have been more into the topics. I think he kept deviating away too much, and Hillary saw that as an opportunity, that as Trump deviates away, it's sort of like a subconscious reaction that Hillary is going to, you feel that Hillary knows more about the subject because she's going to bring them up and talk about them. Anyway, we're going to break here on the Vito and Vito Show. When we return, more guest and debate coverage or review. All right, not really, whatever, I don't know. What would you consider
we'll talk about it?
Well, we'll be back. Vito and Vito right here.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save
your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't.
Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org. Brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Vito and Vito are back. Talking debate coverage. Vito.
And Vito.
Yeah, there's more of us. There's just two. Anyway, talk to us about Hillary Clinton. We talked about Trump before. I want to talk about Hillary.
Hillary Clinton, did it seem like she was reading straight from her notes? Or like
Yes. Yes.
Not even like checking her notes, but like reading straight. Like people, like he would attack her or bring something up, and she would just, right over her head and just keep going with the notes, keep reading the script. And she had terrible comebacks. I don't remember one off the top of my head, but she just seemed so awkward and stiff.
Yeah, I think when you look at that, she is, I can't stand her. She just makes me squirm. And I was sitting there watching it at home, so Mom is checking it out with me, checking out Hillary Clinton. Not checking out Hillary Clinton. Mom is there with me, watching the debate, and Pops came out later to talk about this as well. And my mother, and she watched the whole thing with me, and my mother said, I can't take the look of Hillary. And I said, Mom, why? You're a woman. Talk to me here for a second. Why does Hillary not have this appealing factor? It wasn't the pantsuits. My mother said it wasn't, she just comes off like she knows it all. She has this sort of smug attitude, and she feels not threatened, but talking down to when you hear Hillary Clinton talk. My father, who actually likes Hillary, and despises Trump, which is weird, came out and
somebody hates Trump. That's
yeah,
weird.
I know, but my father said that he can't take Trump, and he doesn't like the aggressiveness. We're going to get to that in a second because I know you said he should have been more aggressive. Trump was, I felt, too aggressive in the first part of the debate, whereas Hillary was sort of, like I said, under his skin and was able to affect him. My father was not a fan of Hillary Clinton. Was not a fan of Donald Trump, excuse me. Thought Hillary did great. He was, so I mean, where do you go on this? So the question is, you have two people here. People that don't like Hillary or people on the fence about Hillary, and then you have a person who likes Hillary. And you look at Hillary's approach, and it only worked her sort of, throwing a bunch of words and see what sticks, and just, rattling off policy details and being her smug self. That appeals to the Hillary supporter because, in a way...
Well, this is the thing. The Hillary supporters vote for Hillary no matter what. The Trump supporters vote for Trump no matter what. But there is the fence. There's those people in the middle who...
And that's what you're trying to get right now in the swing states.
Not even voting for, there's people who might vote for Hillary or might vote for Trump. Then there's people who will never vote for Hillary, but also never vote for Donald Trump. People who I seem to be leaning towards on the fence. But I will be posting an article because I am coming out of the closet.
Oh!
Or should I say, hopping off the fence? I don't think any of these terms are really good.
I like coming out of the closet.
Hopping off the fence. I am hopping off the fence.
You're hopping over the fence.
And
there is no fence.
I was in between.
We don't even know where... We're making a border reference to those of you who don't know. And,
the wall. I was on the wall.
There is no wall. There is no fence. There is no moat. There is no nothing. There is no anything. You can just walk across parts of it. Most of it. But go ahead.
Right, but I
had to get that off my chest. Because when people say I'm jumping over the wall. Oh, that illegal jumped over the wall to get here. Well, there's no wall. He probably just walked. And considering the fact that Obama is one of the worst presidents, he probably sent one of his millions of golf carts that he has from around the world down to the border to pick up an illegal to bring him to a sanctuary city.
New York City is big, but when I go Vermont or New Hampshire and I see illegal Mexicans, you traveled a long way and you chose New Hampshire. You went from Mexico to New Hampshire?
I don't know. They like the cold. A lot of South Americans they want to change. You spend your whole life living in the heat.
Okay. I'm glad they
I don't know. I'm just...
Anyway,
I'm
off the fence.
I don't know a psychology of an illegal immigrant.
Whatever. That's no here, no there. Because they're over there.
Alright, they're over here, but go ahead. We just follow them today.
I wrote an article, Vito, just explaining why I, Vito DiGiovanni, have decided to vote for Donald J. Trump in the 2016 election.
Oh, so you're leaving your Never Trump camp?
Yeah, leaving. I'll be back. No, I'm not. I cannot vote for Hillary Clinton. Gary Johnson does not know
anything today. Did you see this big thing with Gary Johnson today?
I'll defend him.
Oh, this has got to be good. For those of you who don't know, Gary Johnson.
Did you watch it?
I did. Gary Johnson. They asked him what foreign leader does he respect, and he couldn't name one. He's having a brain freeze. His quote: "Brain freeze." Guy running for president.
He joked when he said, "I'm having a Aleppo moment," because he couldn't think of the former Mexican president, which his vice president bailed him out of. But listen, so I'm already getting messages and hate.
Oh yeah, already sending you stuff.
I'll get into that for a second. But Gary Johnson, listen, he had the Aleppo moment. Okay, he forgot the Mexican president's name from years ago. But if you can't name a single foreign leader that you respect, is that something bad? Is that bad?
Gary Johnson.
Because they wanted somebody alive. So who is a big foreign leader that you respect today, Vito? Putin?
No.
No.
Someone that's alive
Who's over
that's
there in
today.
China right now?
No, Paul Weston, my friend from England.
But he's not a foreign leader.
Yeah, he is. He's leading a
not
movement.
in office. A movement? Okay, that movement.
It's not my fault. Now, see, Gary Johnson could have said, what was he going to bring? Like somebody from the Republic of Congo or some crap like that, by some African country that's war-torn because people are killing themselves over there?
He said Merkel, right, from Germany?
Right.
Who's Trump going to say? It doesn't matter. Trump will BS some answer. I don't know.
I like myself.
Me, yeah, easy answer.
I'm sorry. No, Vito, I'm sorry. Gary Johnson's a schmuck. I mean, he should have turned around and he should have said, I don't respect world leaders who, and then he could have went off on a political point.
He's just terrible.
He's not good. Did you see the interview with the MSNBC reporter, or whatever you want to call those things over there? They're not really reporters.
What,
they don't
Week
report
Two
on
with
anything.
Aleppo?
The bias machine. What?
With Aleppo?
Not Aleppo. He did
Recently.
an interview, yes, with the reporter, and I think the reporter asked him, what does he want to do? And then he just stuck his tongue out at the reporter. Did you see? Like, this man, is something wrong with him. And I like Gary. I know him personally. I think he's a terrible candidate. The Libertarian Party ran one of the worst candidates ever. This was such a golden moment for them. They pissed it away. And they have no one to blame but themselves. They have nobody to blame but themselves. Anyway, we got some people calling in, Vito.
Yes. Pam Witham.
And we want to welcome her to the show. Welcome, Pam. Oh, we are doing great. Swell. That's a good word. Two Brooklyn guys saying the word swell.
You know what? The oldies are still the goodies. I don't care what anybody says, man. I really don't care.
There you go. I like that. So tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to talk about the debate, and then we're going to talk about your race because you're running for office. So go ahead, tell us.
I am. Well, I am 32 years old. I have a beautiful 2-year-old son, born and raised in Virginia Beach. It's funny because when about a month or two before I found out that I was pregnant with my son, I decided that I was going to start a blog because I had been out of the political scene for a while because my parents got divorced, and that was really bumpy and rocky, and then I ended up going to college and finishing that up. And so I figured that would be a great way to get back into it because I had a lot to say and I wanted everyone to read about it. So I started the blog and it's been fantastic. And I mean, it led me to you two guys, which is unbelievable. And I love politics. As weird as that sounds, I am that nerd who has always loved the political scene. And, you know, I listened to another talk show, grew up on this gentleman since I was in elementary school. And he actually challenged everyone who was listening to him one day. He said, you know, it's one thing to talk about politics, and it's another thing if you want to blog about it, but what are you actually doing about it? So that's when it was like a lightning bolt that went off in my brain. I said, you know what, he's right. I really need to do more than just voice my opinions out there. So I decided to run for office in Virginia Beach because I want a change, and I think that, I mean, you guys are younger than me, but I think that it's super important that people my age and younger are just as involved in politics and policies that are being made as our parents and our grandparents have been.
Well, we love your blog. You know, we keep sharing and tweeting with your blog for many months now. It's been a while since we met on Twitter. I guess you can say that.
That is true, Pam. I'm a big fan.
I'm a huge fan of y'all. You guys are informative and funny, and you're very insightful. And you don't get that combination very well. And I'm not really trying to boost your ego or anything, but you guys really are phenomenal. So I'm big fans of yours. It's a mutual fandom.
Thank you. And same goes for you with the blog and everything. How insightful. And I think it's a smart decision. You decided to run for office. Tell us what's going on over there.
Well, for me, it's the first campaign that I'm running. It's a quote unquote kitchen campaign, so it's a learning process, all of it. But I am outside of all of the normal political stuff of people telling me I'm not going to win and I need to drop out and I'm not raising $100,000 or $250,000, so I have no chance at winning and I may as well drop out. I have met so many amazing people within the city that I live in. And by doing this, I have found that there are more people who are upset and furious at the way that government is being run. And I'm also, with this campaign, it's a big push for me to make sure that at the end of every forum that I do, that I tell people that it is important to the livelihood and the country as a whole that we get everybody involved, not just millennials, but the disenfranchised Gen Xers, and make sure everybody who is here and is an American citizen can legally register to vote and show ID when they vote too. Because there's going to come a time when my grandparents and my parents are not here, and the small percentage of the population that votes now is going to be that much smaller if we do not, as a grouping of generation of people with millennials and Gen Xers, if we do not get involved and if we do not band together and come together to make this country better with policies that will really help and strengthen our country, or else we're just going to have the same people making the same decisions, electing the same officials, and we're going to be in the same boat. We're not going to have change, no matter how many campaigns promise that they will give you change.
Right, we hear this over and over again from every politician. It's all the same stuff, the same politics. I think Donald Trump running has woken some people up, and that's why you see with the local elections, over by you and other people I know, people do care. People are getting more involved. We had record registration and involvement for the primary. So we wish you the best of luck.
I really do appreciate that. It's really important that you guys keep doing what you're doing and that I keep doing what I'm doing, because that is one of the ways that we are going to get this nation to wake up. And, I hope that I can make a difference with the city of Virginia Beach. But you know what? If for some reason, if this election doesn't work out, I'm very confident that this election cycle, locally and nationwide, we are going to see a lot of people who are the incumbents be voted out.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears. We have commercial coming up, so can you tell our folks at home listening where they can find your blog and all, follow you on Twitter and everything else?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I have a brand new website up now. It's called PamWitham.com, PamWitham. Or you can follow me on Twitter. It's @RedBlueAndWitham. And there are links there to my blog on my website as well as Twitter.
Excellent. We definitely want to have you back on in the near future. It was great having you on, and I'll see you on the interwebs, on Twitter and your blog.
Absolutely. I look forward to coming back on, guys. Thanks so much for having me tonight.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, Vito.
All right.
Pam Witham.
That was a nice interview.
I like her.
I like her a lot. All right, Vito and Vito going to break right here. Don't go anywhere. When we return, forget about it, Moments of the Week and debate wrap up.
Who might you save?
your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911, F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
Your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel? Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org, brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
And we're back, Vito and Vito. Yes, we are back, Vito.
We're back.
Pam is a real nice person. I like her. What's the blog called again?
redblueandwith'em.blogspot.com.
That's cool. And I wish her luck in her race. I wonder how it's going to go. I am rooting for her.
Yes.
I hope she wins because, you know, she was a sweetheart to have on. I love that people are just taking what they're doing and they're running for office and they're doing things that they need to do to help their communities. And for that, you know, that makes me very, very happy. And she has my full support. So I fully endorse our friend, Pam Witham. There you go, Vito. You agree with that?
100%.
Give her the Vito and Vito Show seal. Come on, give the kid some. Give us some love. Give us some Brooklyn love.
We should print some seals or something like that.
Print the what? Oh, seals? Yeah, store on your website. There you go. All right, well, congrats, Dan. I wish you nothing but the best. All right, Vito, what else do we got here?
Well, I hopped off the fence. I'm supporting
So you
Donald
hopped
Trump.
off, you're supporting Donald Trump. Now, why would you do such a thing? Because you hated Trump, or you were
I didn't
never
hate him.
Trump, and you said
Listen.
he lies, and now I've been
He
on the Trump
does.
bandwagon after Cruz dropped out
Right,
because I
he's
know
the
that
second coming.
I know that the country is first, and my preference is the second. We lined up the arguments against and for Trump, and I'm sorry, I won that debate hands down. You look at Donald Trump, where he stands on Islam, immigration, trade. He is a proponent of conservatism in those areas, and I think he'll be a proponent of conservatism for the years to come.
He's obviously a pure conservative.
I never see, there's this snarky Hillary Clinton attitude that comes out of you. It's
So
disgusting.
you just said he's going to fight for conservatism because he has two whole conservative ideas out of everything.
Well, those are the major points in his platform.
Yeah,
He's
sure.
against climate change. He's, you know, he has a great tax plan.
Oh, he's a fighting conservative. He's against climate change.
Again, if you look up the totality of the positions that he's on, He's helping the Republican Party. He's going to help us grow with blacks. He's going to help us grow, I think, with
Hopefully,
young
what's he
people.
polling out with African Americans?
I don't know. We got to look at the polls. Who really cares?
Extremely low.
I don't really care. Not now, at least. Let the man do some work. Let the man do some
He's
work when
like
he gets in
a month
office.
before election.
Let him get in office. He's going to win. I'm telling you now.
I
Period.
hope
End of
so.
story. You hope so. So that means you're voting for him. Are you enthusiastically voting for him?
No.
Are you going to wear the hat?
No.
No, you're not. So I'm wearing the hat.
I don't wear hats.
I'll wear the
It
hat.
messes my hair.
What about a shirt? You going to wear a Trump shirt?
Depends if it's in my size.
How about a sign?
No sign.
No
Actually,
sign?
My mother has like a Veterans for Trump sign.
No one in your house is a
No one in
veteran.
my house is a veteran. I
So-
don't know where she found it. I don't know why we have it. But
I think from the story that she told me that like her doctor gave it to her or something like that. Her doctor's a big fan of Trump, so
Well, 'cause she-
he had a bunch of Trump signs, an assortment of them, and I guess they gave her that
she
one.
thought she was a vet, like she had an injury.
I'm dealing with you know.
Yeah, it was war.
That's what it is.
Anyway,
Donald Trump.
I decided to vote for Donnie T.
It's about time. Cause why?
One, because the Supreme Court,
That's a good point.
realizing that sooner or later Ruth Bader Ginsburg will die.
Everyone keeps saying she's gonna croak, and you know what? Scalia died first.
Well, she's gonna be 100 and something.
You know, everyone
90 almost.
Everyone says the next appointment's gonna be that. Then Kagan came in, and then like everybody says, Sotomayor.
She's almost 90.
Sotomayor,
She
whatever
can
her name
barely
is.
walk or breathe, and she's still sitting there making constitutional decisions.
You know, she made a quote once that said, they said, how many women should there be on the Supreme Court? And she's like, I'm not going to stop until there's 9. And I'm like, who cares if they're women or men? This is a serious thing.
She's going to die before that happens.
You're still stuck on the she's going to die. I guarantee you she'll outlive all of us.
Probably.
She rests up on her sleep at the State of the Union, and then she goes to work.
A glass of wine.
So good
anyway,
for her.
I realized that 3 to 4 potentially Supreme Court justices could be replaced by Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Yes.
And I kind of like my Second Amendment, First Amendment rights.
Well, I hope you do.
So I decided that I'll only hope, not Gary Johnson, because he probably can't even find the front door of the White House.
He's a moron! He's a moron! You said that you were thinking about voting for Gary Johnson. Right or wrong?
I was thinking about it.
You were thinking about it. Unbelievable.
But, okay, so Donald Trump will help protect the Supreme Court. We get that. I look at this more like a punt in football. We're punting the ball. It's not a touchdown, but I'm punting it so Hillary does not score. Because this country will be destroyed. I want to write an article
So we
about
didn't
this.
bust yet, is that what you're trying to say? Like we're playing blackjack?
We're alright. We're there. We're going to sell. We got like a 16. Hopefully they get the 10 and bust.
Oh my god, we're relying on them at this point?
This is not a blackjack, okay? This is not that great. But I'm going to write an article explaining more details, but definitely the terrorist attack we saw in Chelsea, Manhattan.
Yes.
Definitely did convince me, because ISIS is a problem. Islam is definitely a problem with the United States. We're at war, and Hillary Clinton will not protect this country. She'll continue the reset button and all the other BS the Obama administration will do, and what she'll continue what she's been doing as Secretary of State, and that's getting Americans killed.
We're gonna trust this woman with emails. We're gonna trust her with something as powerful as this.
Anyway, let's try to go in a lighter mood and go to Forget About It.
Yeah, let's try that. Alright, here we go. Forget about it moments of the week.
What? Forget about it?
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Paul, forget about it.
That's right. Forget about it moments of the week here on Vito and Vito. Break down some of the craziest moments this week. Vito, what do you got for number 1?
Well, we have some good ones, but one is a little more serious. You want the serious topic?
Yeah, let's get the serious one.
Okay, apparently Pakistan is threatening to, quote, destroy India with nuclear weapons.
Okay.
So just figure we'll let you know.
They've been doing this since the inception of Pakistan. Okay.
There's a lot of things in the middle
You
East
notice
out
that the
there.
Muslims are the one that's starting all the problems? They've started it in Pakistan. That's why Pakistan and India, they used to live together in India, and then they used to hate each other. And there's Gandhi, who used to starve himself, and, I don't know.
You know, Gandhi
cut wine,
said that he used
wire.
to sleep next to naked women just to test his abstinence. Okay.
Yeah.
You think my girlfriend would like that excuse?
I don't know. I don't think your boyfriend would like
I
it.
didn't do anything. I
Mhm.
just slept with them to test myself.
Unbelievable.
What BS.
I gotta
Anyway.
give Gandhi some credit, though, because, he tried to unify a country that was divided
Oh,
by
yeah, I
religion.
couldn't go that long without eating.
Shut up. And either way, you have I think you can if you take a look at some pictures of our friend here, Vito. But yeah, I think you can last a couple of days. But you had people like, Gandhi and people fighting for the Indian unification efforts, and it didn't work. And then Pakistan, the Muslims of the country, moved on to the left or right, whichever side it's on. And they moved to their own country in Pakistan. And now they hate each other. And the Muslims are still giving trouble in Punjabi, and that's the area of the Sikhs. So if you look at the geography of India and the history of it, it's really interesting, especially a contemporary history. But the Muslims have been starting problems there. They take their problems also into Saudi Arabia. They take their problems into Iran. They take their problems elsewhere throughout the Middle East. So it's absolutely horrible. Yeah, Vito, what? You're rushing me. What do you want?
Oh, no.
Is more?
No, the second, forget about it.
Oh, there is more.
In Pittsburgh, 2 women are being charged with statutory rape because they had a threesome with a 15-year-old boy at a pizza party.
You see, here we go into those iffy subjects again.
Well, listen, if I was a 15-year-old boy, that is the greatest pizza party I've ever been to.
How old are the girls?
One was, I think, 32, and the other one was 26.
It's a little sick.
What do you mean sick?
Vito, 15?
You know what I was doing when I was 15?
Vito, yeah, what you were doing is one thing.
Oh, please.
What a 36-year-old woman is doing with a 15-year-old is another.
32.
Whatever, don't matter.
It does.
It does.
Why does it matter?
Of course it matters. 32 years old. And a 15-year-old boy.
Wait, I'm just thinking from my perspective. When I was 15,
no, I think
and
the kid.
32
Now the question. Now here's okay. Now here's.
When I was eating my pizza.
Now,
and you. Okay.
Now here's the question: did he like it?
Really?
I don't know.
Really, a 15-year-old
Well, he's suing her for rape, so.
Is he suing? It's probably the parents. Like, oh my god, my child. Like the student who sleeps with the high school teacher. He is the star, but she's the one going to prison. I don't think that's cool.
That isn't
Listen,
cool.
15 years old. You know how many couches your parents have to go through?
You sick. I have to say, that was a good point, David. I'll give you a little Andrew Dice Clay. Oh. There you go. I'll give it to you right there. I don't want to be that guy.
Pam tweeted, she said, yeah, 32 versus 15, that's icky.
That is icky. That's
because remember, I'm 21, so I just put myself in a situation. 32, 26 walk up to me, I'm dropping the pizza. Okay? 15, okay, that might be a little young, but still. Now, what if you're 7? See, that's icky. That's close.
That's icky.
See?
Thanks, Pam. Go ahead.
17.
17 I could get.
15-year-olds, I think, are 25.
I don't really want to do this right now in the show with the last, 4 to 5 minutes that we have in the program.
We know somebody's listening, because they've been messaging us, so someone's listening.
But not even that.
We know he had a ball.
Did he? Or maybe the kid was maybe he was hold on, maybe he was manipulated into it. Maybe the kid was yeah, how do you know? The kid maybe was
it was free pizza, right?
Maybe the free pizza, and then
you're 15. I think you know what's going on.
Was the pizza drugged? You don't know what these people do. Look at the Bill Cosby thing.
No, they're like, oh, let's go upstairs in my room. He's like, well, where are we going? I'm eating the pizza. And she's like, well, you never had a threesome before? And then they banged.
You know, I'm.
That is like a porno. That's like what we dream of.
No, that is a child porn film. That's what that is. Okay, you could dream of that. No, I'll take a back seat.
Me. God, not the 15-year-old. Once we're going to lose the show.
No, you're going to be going to jail.
Yeah, great.
Well, I understand the fantasy. It's pretty cool. I can't, if I was 15 and a blonde bombshell 32, and what was the other girl? 30? How old was she? 26 years old. I'm talking and it's like that pizza delivery girl, right? Rings the doorbell, bang. You're like, wow, right? That's okay. That's a different story. I understand the kid. But at the same time, he's 15 years old,
Oh, please.
We're looking at it from the outsider's perspective.
Okay, but I'm looking from his perspective.
So had the kid testify. If the kid said he's old enough to make his own decision.
We don't know yet.
Had the kid testify. If the kid's like, you know what? I thought it was great. I started it, and I thought it was wonderful. Leave alone.
That's what I'm saying. Like the high school student with the
yeah, I mean, but at the same time.
Like you're sitting in class like, do I have a shot? And because this happened in Brooklyn a couple times there.
Yeah, they were the high school. Yeah.
Right now, you know how many students started going on
They
class?
renamed the high school Horn Dog High. Did you know?
I don't know what videos you're watching. Anyway, sticking with the 6 sex
Hot
stuff.
for teacher, Vito. That's what you are.
Van Halen. Nice reference.
Thanks. Hot for pizza chick. Go ahead.
Great. So, apparently, in Europe and near Serbia and Eastern Europe, they started this thing called sex roulette. Now,
as degenerate gamblers.
No, trust me, I don't think you want to gamble with this because sex roulette actually comes from Russian roulette because they have these orgies, these sex parties, But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
One mysterious person that nobody in the group knows about, one of those people has HIV.
Vito.
What? I'm not kidding. And this has been spreading HIV across Europe at staggering rates in the last couple of years. And doctors in like Spain wrote this article like, listen, you have to stop having these sick roulette sex parties. That means there's like 10 of you and one of you has AIDS. And now you have to go bang them.
Wait, is that
you have to pick the ones who don't have HIV.
You know, I thought it was sick when people were sitting there and they were like...
Now you're rethinking the pizza boy.
No, the Hillary Clinton thing. Like, people are going to vote for Hillary Clinton. I thought you were stupid, but you got to be real dumb to go into an orgy knowing that somebody in the orgy has HIV and then you're willing to participate in the orgy continuously. What's the matter with you?
Like, I play roulette a lot.
Define roulette. The one with the chips and the money and the
yeah,
ball?
like, I'm like, oh no, I'm at $100, I can't get home. Not, oh no, I might have AIDS. Or Russian roulette, oh, you might kill yourself. Who comes up with these games?
I said it before in previous episodes, let's not forget, there at Burning Man, the Burning Man Festival, there was an orgy tent, you know? And you used to go in there and just...
that's alright.
And that, what are you talking about? You know a disease is going to be spreading from that thing from someplace.
Ooh, but that's maybe, like, oh, maybe...
Oh, BS! Everyone's sitting around, rolling around there.
Well, like, Woodstock.
And and everyone came out of Woodstock just fine, really?
Protection. It's not like, oh, one of them definitely has AIDS. You have a 10% chance of getting AIDS if you participate in the sex roulette. If at least you're rolling around Woodstock...
Oh, there's 10 people? Is that what it was? There was 10 people there?
I'm saying, if you have a 10-person orgy,
all right,
20, 30, I don't know how many
I don't know.
I mean, how big can these sex roulettes be?
Who knows? Anyway, the point is...
Be careful when you go to Europe.
Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow at Vito and Vito Show, and visit our friend Pam's website.
redballoonwithhim.blogspot.com.
That's right. The Vito and Vito Show. It's great to have you here, ladies and gentlemen. We're signing off right now. Do us a favor and vote for Trump, because I am, and so are you, right, Vito?
That's right, Trump train.
Let's go. In Brooklyn.
It's nothing but the truth.